When shopping for a new GPU, most people are shopping between NVIDIA or AMD, but there is a third competitor out there, and they just released their newest mid-range card. Intel has just released its latest card, the A580, slotting in between the A380 and the A750. And while not designed to wow people with high frame rates or high resolutions, does it bring enough juice to satisfy the casual gamer? And between the two partner cards, is there one that you should be considering, or should you just get whatever is cheapest? A quick recap of our test system. It contains a Core i9-13900K with 32GB of DDR5 6000 memory, Windows 11 Professional, and the latest press driver from Intel. Starting out with the 1080p results, and this is really where this card is at its best. And you can kind of see it by the cards that it's faster than. All the cards that are on here that are slower are from the last generation or even older. That by itself is not a bad thing, but it does mean it may not be a performance upgrade for many people. The closest card from this generation in performance to the new A580s is actually the Intel Arc A750, which ends up being about 11% faster. Followed then by the Arc A770 being 26% faster, the AMD RX 7600 being 28% faster, and the NVIDIA RTX 4060 being 32% faster. But yeah, more expensive cards bring more performance. Between the two Intel A580s though, there's not much between them, with the ASRock A580 Challenger being 2% faster than the Sparkle A580 Orc. Enabling ray tracing does condense this list a little bit, with the AMD RX 7600 now being only 7% faster than the A580, and the Arc A750 being 9% faster. Ray tracing performance does lean in favor of NVIDIA though, and the RTX 4060 now is 36% faster. The Intel A580 isn't really designed to be a 1440p card, but neither are many other cards at the bottom of this list, so it does actually gain on some of its competitors. The NVIDIA RTX 4060 is now only 25% faster, and the AMD RX 7600 is 22% faster. The Arc A750 though does maintain its lead and is still 13% faster. That doesn't mean you can't game at 1440p though. Both the ASRock and Sparkle cards maintain a little bit under 60 FPS, which isn't ideal, but this is with higher quality settings, so if you do want a 60 FPS experience in most of the other games, you could just lower down the settings. It is worth noting that the entry-level cards from NVIDIA, AMD, and even the higher-end card from Intel are all above 60 FPS. Bumping up the resolution to 4K probably isn't advisable with these cards, but it is worth noting that they do keep gaining on AMD's entry-level model with every resolution bump, and now the more expensive AMD card is only 11% faster. The Arc A750 is 12% faster, and the RTX 4060 maintains its lead at 22% faster. And taking a quick look at the minimum frame rates, we can see that the A580s are only good for about 28 FPS, and really only the fastest two cards, the RTX 4060 and Arc A750, can maintain 30 FPS at this resolution. When it comes to power consumption, normally we really focus on power consumption while gaming, but for Intel cards in particular, taking a look at idle consumption can be really important. And the A580 is no different, consuming more power than pretty much any other card while idling. Yes, it's only about 20 extra watts or so, but over the course of a year, that could be 175 kilowatts if you're putting this into an always-on system, so something to keep in mind. Things are a little more comparable when looking at power consumption while gaming, but even here you can see that efficiency is not the Intel card's strong suit. The ASRock A580 Challenger uses 196 watts while gaming, while the Sparkle A580 Orc uses a little bit more power at 210 watts. That is a little bit better than the Arc A750 at 220 watts, but it is quite a bit more than the RTX 4060 at 128 watts, and even the AMD RX 7600 at 152 watts. And when comparing apples to apples at 60 Hz, The efficiency comparison actually somehow gets even worse, with the Sparkle A580 Orc using 193 watts to game at 60 FPS. And to put that into some perspective, that's more than 2.5 times the energy than the RTX 4060 and RX 7600 require to perform the same feat. So not a great showing. So how about fan noise? And so far, both the A580 cards have been pretty close to one another, whether in performance or in power consumption, but going over into fan noise is where we see them really differ. The ASRock A580 Challenger comes in at a very respectable 27.4 dBA, so a very good showing for a low power card. But the Sparkle A580 Orc is at the very top of the charts pretty much with 42 dBA. This would make the Sparkle card 5 times louder than the ASRock card. So if you are looking for the quieter of the two cards, stick with the ASRock. Quickly taking a look at overclocking, and this is really dependent on your particular card. We are achieving about the same level of uplift when overclocking, somewhere in the 10 to 11% range. Not a lot when we're talking about this level of performance, but every frame helps. But when it comes down to it, these cards are all about value. And at $180, these two cards are definitely one of the best deals if you are looking for something new. Since they are at the same price, the ASRock A580 Challenger becomes the easy default pick over the Sparkle. It does have better out-of-the-box performance, run more efficiently, and has a much better cooler. Really, one of the best reasons to not buy an A580 comes from Intel itself, with the A750 currently only commanding $10 extra while being faster in pretty much every metric. If you can snag an RX 6600 or 6600 XT, those do offer a little bit better value. And if you want more performance, the RX 7600 is a decent value at $240, but if you're dead set on getting the cheapest card you can buy, the ASRock A580 Challenger is a pretty good option.